Hi guys, Simon from TeslaLightShows.io here, back with another Tesla tech review. Now we've been sent through a 7.5-inch rear display for the Model 3 and the Model Y, and it's been developed to actually mimic the Model X and the Model S as their variations stand today. It's a pretty cool looking piece of kit, and what we're going to do today is install it. We'll put it through its paces, but more importantly for me, we're going to see what the difference is between the generations of the one I had before and the one they have now. I think there's improvements that could have been made, and I'm really hoping that they've done it in this generation. So yeah, let's get started. So we've been sent this 7.5-inch rear display by TeslaSee.com for review. They've also given us a discount code that will give you 15% off at the checkout across this and all of their other products in their store. Simply enter Tesla Light Shows, one word, before completing your purchase to activate the discount. Opening the box, it's clear that this generation of the Model 3 and Y rear display is a little more involved than the previous models. Inside the box we can see that the screen now comes separate to the facing, which looks like it's been styled on Kylo Ren's mask. We have the screen display itself, which we need to wire up, a replacement air duct to direct the flow of air through to the new vents. We have the necessary cables and accessories. We'll go ahead and open that in a second just to take a closer look. And finally, we have the replacement rear facing of the center console, the display to rear facing cable, as well as the T-cablings which will connect to the car's main artery. We also have the two seat adjustment T-cables. Before we move to the car to start the install, we'll prep the rear console facing, which houses the inbuilt speakers and the air vents. We're simply going to take the matching end of the display cable and clip that into place. In the car now, we're going to first remove the lower panel at the base of the center console. I find it best to place my fingers at the base and pull sharply towards me. This really is the easiest way to remove the facing. It doesn't require any tools, and most importantly, it won't damage the car. We'll just pop that to one side. We now remove the two screws holding the center console's rear plate so that we can completely remove them. This now, just with a little tug, comes off nice and easy. We can now take off the factory fitted air vents by just getting our fingers underneath each side and then pulling towards us. Trust me, these come off quite easily, so don't be too afraid of damaging the car. Okay, on the underside we can see that there's a USB port connector. We'll screws and then prise it out of the clips that are holding it in place. You'll need to give this a good tug to get that off. So to remove the board, we have two smaller screws. We then slide that out to find that we have the USB ports. Now that we have that out, we'll go ahead and reconnect the original cable. Now, taking the new console panel, we're going to insert the USB port card here, where we can see that there are two pre-drilled screw holes which we'll use to secure that card in place. Now, I just want to point out that you'll find this a lot less fiddly due to the fact that I'm angling this towards a camera. I'm having to do it really cack-handedly whilst practically hanging upside down. Right, now time to cable up. So we're going to disconnect the two blue connectors at the base of the center console. Here we're going to introduce our T cable. This allows the rear display to connect directly to the car's onboard computer. The original version of this rear display is the introduction of forward seat adjustment. So obviously this unit only supports the moving of the co-pilot seat. That's for safety reasons. Imagine a child in the back adjusting the driver's seat whilst driving. So that being said, the cables do connect to both the driver's and the front passenger's seats. So we'll go ahead and start with the driver's side. First, be sure to move the seat as far forward as you can, just to make sure that you've got plenty of room to maneuver. We have a single screw at the front. Now this allows us to pull back the facing, which is really quite flexible. Here we find the cable connecting the seat adjustment buttons, so we'll go ahead and we'll swap that out for our new T cable, being sure then to connect up the original cable into that other end. So this allows the rear passenger to adjust the co-pilot seat, which I guess is handy in circumstances where the rear passenger needs a little extra leg room or has an oversized bag. Let's just give that a quick test to see if everything's still functioning correctly. Yep, great. Okay, so now that we're happy that everything's cabled this end, we'll go ahead and replace the screw at the front. Look for the fabric line that's underneath the seat's runners. Through this, there's a hole that we can use to feed our cable through. Then grabbing that from the other side, we can go ahead and pull our cable all the way through. Now I'll be cable tying all of these to the underneath of the seat to keep things neat, but also to stop any pinching of cables. And finally, we'll connect up our long cable to the T cable that's at the base of the center console. Right, so now let's do exactly the same procedure on the passenger's side. Now, which side is which? Well, it may not matter, or I might have just had a happy accident, but mine worked first time. So that being said, the T cables that I had do have slightly different colours at the end. I used the red and black for the passenger and the black only for the driver's side. However, if yours is different and it doesn't work first time, simply just swap the connectors at the base of the center console, leaving the cables into the seats as is. Now we can go ahead and install the replacement rear facing and the airflow adapter. We start with positioning the face plate at the base, and using the original factory screws, we'll go ahead and pop those back. We'll just make sure that we leave it a little bit loose at the moment, just so that we have some wiggle room for the next bit. Now we're going to remove the right hand screw at the top of the center console. Right, we're now ready to place our airflow attachment, securing that first with the screw on the right. Okay, so taking the new screen, we're going to connect the other end of that blue cable that we attached to the panel just a bit earlier. This cable clips in place just at the back of the screen. We then want to feed the long black cable through a gap down on the left-hand side. This takes us all the way down to the bottom, where we can grab that and then connect the end to the corresponding connector on our T cable. We'll then go ahead and connect up the thin black and red cable that's coming into the new center console's white connector. Okay, back to the screen. We'll go ahead and just gently clip that into place. And using the 3 screws provided, we'll secure that at the top. And at the bottom. Let's go ahead and remove the protective film and then pop on that new Kalo Ren's face. Right, last thing, the little junction box we saw earlier. Now we're going to connect that up and hopefully we'll watch everything spring into life. We can move the speed of the flow up and down. We can change the temperature on either side, and we can stop the flow completely. Using the second icon along the bottom, we can now control the seat functions. We can set the temperature of the rear's heated seats, as well as to adjust the co-pilot seat. Forward, back, forward tilt, and backward tilt. The steering wheel icon brings up the car's media controls. We have play and pause, skip track back and forward, as well as the volume controls up and down. We have a media library that we can add our own songs by using the inbuilt USB port. The next icon brings us to the apps. However, before we look at those, let's go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi. To do this, we'll swipe down from the top and hold down the Wi-Fi icon just to bring up that menu. That will then allow us to connect to our hotspot. The device is also SIM enabled, so we can use that for internet as well. Okay, so I have to say that the system is far quicker than the original. The rear display, really it is much quicker. So the spot in the corner brings up a shortcuts menu that can adjust volume, etc., and also takes us back to the home screen. From here, let's take a look at the preloaded popular apps. We'll start by checking out YouTube to So I think the greatest downfall of the first version of this rear display was the fact that you couldn't actually connect any headsets to it, except for when it was physically cabled in. The only thing that could connect by Bluetooth was the car itself. So what I thought we'd do with this one, I'm told that they fixed it, I'm told that it works, so what we're going to do is actually check that out using my daughter's very attractive headset. Let's go and connect up the Bluetooth. Okay, so what we're going to do to get the Bluetooth, we're going to drag down from the top and just hold the Bluetooth button. Then we're going to pair a new device, and we should have our headset here. Would you like to pair? Yes. Okay, so let's go and see if this works. I know, I look pretty. So we're going to check out, let's choose one of ours, let's take the Pretender, and we'll just allow that to go. Now I can't hear anything, but it is silent at this point. Yeah, here we go. We've got music. Excellent, crystal clear, absolutely wonderful. As is the light show. You should go and check it out. Okay, so the great news is that certainly one set of headphones, as attractive as these ones might be, they do work. I do have a second set. Let's see if those go ahead and connect. So we now have this dude here. Yes, we would like to pair. Okay, so we are however only seeing one, so let's just make sure that we can't connect. Yeah. Okay, so unfortunately no, once I've tried to connect these, it's disconnected the other, and now vice versa as well, so I can't actually hear anything through these ones. Okay, so as suspected, no, it only supports one set of Bluetooth headphones at a time. So it's either this one or that one. They disconnected as soon as I tried to reconnect another one. So that's fine. I'm not too upset about that. Now, the reason I'm not too upset is because it's actually got a built-in speaker. If it didn't have, then that would mean that we have to actually go back via the Bluetooth of the car in order for the kids to listen to the audio, and last time that kind of drove me nuts in the front on a long journey. So this is good. If there's one kid in the back, they can listen to headphones. They could actually share a pair, I guess, if they were individual ones, but they can also listen on the speaker. Now, we tried this earlier with the kids in the back, listening to the audio of the speaker inbuilt in the unit, whilst I actually moved all of the car's audio over to the front and listened to a song over there, and neither were really disturbed by the other. So no, thumbs up on that one. That will work for us, as I said, unless there's one person in the car, one kid in the car, that can then suddenly start using their headphones, which I don't need to use anymore. Okay, so in summary, I have to say that I really like this machine. So it sits there in the back, it gives it a premium look, it gives it a premium feel. Now, this is for the Model Y and the Model 3, but of course what it's doing is it's mirroring what's in a Model X and a Model S, and I think it does that really, really well. The functionality is enhanced from the previous versions, it is quicker, it is just sleeker and nicer looking too. Now, one of the things on functionality that I will say is that Netflix, although the app is there, it won't open. Now, I've spoken to the manufacturer. They've told me that we need to download an APK file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in a separate video. It might not interest all of you, but if you do, and if you are interested, have a look for that one where we'll specifically look at the APK download. Now, that's it though. That's it from me. All that's left to say is thank you. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and subscribe. That really helps us to grow. But until our next time, it's a goodbye from me.